Welcome to our kitchen. Today we prepare an ancient Roman recipe for pork tongue from the 7th book of the Re Cucinaria. We start with the ingredients. We need pork tongue, olive oil, garum, onion, dates, dried rue, black pepper and fennel seeds. We cook the pork tongue for 2 hours. You can cook it more or less depending on the size and your personal preference. The original text doesn't specify the type of meat or the cut for the recipe, which only includes the list of the ingredients for elixa, which means either boiled or stewed, depending on the context. The first recipe in this section of the Re Cucinaria is for any kind of meat, and the author specifies that it should be cooked and dried with a cloth before being served with a sauce. Meanwhile, we prepare the sauce. We grind pepper, fennel and rue in a mortar. We add 1 date and 1/4 of an onion, and we dilute with 2 tablespoons of olive oil and garum. Although there are no recipes specifically for tongue in the Re Cucinaria, we know from Gallen's De Alimentorum Facultatibus that the tongue was commonly cut from the pig and boiled alone, just as it continued to be prepared throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, to reach contemporary Italian cuisine. In fact, in historical preparations, pork, veal or beef tongue is usually boiled, roasted or used to prepare a pie. But it is also cured and often served in a salad, dressed with herbs and spices. Examples of recipes can be found in the books of Maestro Martino, Platina, Bartolomeo Scappi, and Vincenzo Tanara, written between the 15th and the 17th centuries. The recipe calls for dried rue, which is an herb that can be difficult to find. If you don't have it, you can use another herb instead, such as parsley, cilantro, dill or mint, all of which are typical ingredients of the ancient Mediterranean cuisine and still get an excellent dish. Garum can be replaced with a Southeast Asian fish sauce, colatura di alici, muria or simply with salt. To learn how to make garum and muria from scratch, check out the videos in the description below. If you're interested in ancient food, read our book, Ancient Roman Cooking, and check out our Patreon page, where you'll find translations of the Re Cucinaria, Catos de Agricultura, and Columellas de Re Rustica, as well as several other translations of sources and articles on historical food. To learn more about meat in the history of Italian cuisine, check out our book Early Italian Recipes, Meat, Meatballs and Sausages, dedicated to fresh and cured meat, with recipes from the antiquity to the end of the Renaissance, accompanied by the original texts and our translations. You'll find the links to our books on historical food in the description below. To support our work, you can also buy us a beer and purchase our merchandise. When the tongue is cooked through, we peel it, slice it, and serve it with the sauce. This dish was amazing, with the tender and flavorful meat enhanced by the spiciness of pepper and raw onion, the aromatic sweetness of fennel and date, the slight bitterness of rue, and the sapidity of garum. We also tried the tongue stewed with the same sauce, and it was incredible, less intense, but maybe even better than pouring the raw sauce over the cooked tongue. It would also be interesting to try it with different types of meat, for example with beef or lamb. These are all versions of the same recipe that are worth trying, to experience the amazing variety of flavors that characterizes ancient Roman cuisine. If you're interested in ancient foods and flavors, subscribe our channel and consider supporting us on Patreon.